no dig potato disaster. That is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, and I'm actually really upset about this, and I'm hoping if you're watching this that you are going to learn something from this and not make the same mistake as me. I have completely spoiled an entire harvest of the best potatoes that I have ever grown before. So today is the 30th of September. You can probably hear from the noise that it's absolutely torrential rain outside, but I needed to be getting on with this video today because I promised my son that he is getting a jacket potato for his dinner, and this is the first time I've actually had a chance to really kind of talk about this issue, this mistake that I have made. So basically, rewind to January this year. I was really focused. I'd done a lot of research on the types of potatoes that I was going to be growing. I had always had an okay harvest from growing first early and second early potatoes, but this year I wanted to find a potato that would grow really well in my soil and grow absolutely massive, so I could have, you know, really good chips, jacket potatoes and mashed potatoes throughout the year. And I found a potato variety called Sarpo Mira. Tony O'Neill from Simplified Gardening, he is about 40 miles away from me. He has a very similar growing climate, and he finds these potatoes absolutely amazing to grow. They're also blight resistant, and a lot of other people use these potatoes as well and have a good crop from them. So I thought these are going to be the potato for me. I want a load of potatoes, big potatoes, and something that's blight resistant is always a really good added bonus, isn't it? So anyway, I went ahead and got these potatoes, and then I planted them in the ground about kind of 6 inches deep, and I thought I'm going to be doing these as no-dig potatoes. It just seems so pointless digging trenches, which is something I did last year. I dug trenches. I then buried the potatoes quite deep, earthed them up loads, but then when it came to harvesting time, I just kept stabbing all the potatoes, and I didn't know if I'd actually harvested all of the potatoes from that area. So I thought no dig was going to be the perfect thing for me. So every time I cut the grass, or people had cut the grass up here, they gave me all the grass clippings. I earthed these potatoes up kind of to the max with grass clippings, and the foliage grew absolutely massive on them, and you know, I kind of sat back, didn't really worry too much about them. But then about a month ago, I noticed that the foliage was starting to die back. Now they were ready to be harvested, and actually I kind of realised what a massive mistake I had made, and that is, with these Sarpo Miras, they get absolutely massive and they really do need to be earthed up loads. So actually, I didn't really look at them, and now I've realised that I have about 20 seed potatoes, 20 potato plants that have grown a massive, bountiful harvest of potatoes, and they're all sitting on the surface of the soil. So with potatoes, they are a stem tuber. So rather than being a root tuber, they grow from the stems. So that is why when they see the light, they photosynthesize and they start turning green. And pretty much everyone watching this will know that you can't really eat green potatoes. They're going to make you a little bit unwell. So I have the best harvest of potatoes that I have ever grown before, and unfortunately I think that these are all going to be inedible. So I'm really upset about this. I've made a mistake, and I know we always learn from our mistakes, but I would rather be learning from somebody else's mistake. So I hope somebody can watch this and learn a lesson. These potatoes definitely needed like earthing up, and even if you watch, like, you know, the Charles Dowdings and people like that, they do still always give like a really good one bucket full of compost around each potato, even when growing no dig. So you know, I've made a mistake here. Please don't make this mistake again. What I'm going to do now is, even though it's torrentially raining outside, I promised my child he would be getting a jacket potato for his dinner tonight. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go and dig a couple of these potatoes out, and then we can have a look at them. And I'm really hoping that there's, you know, every potato plant will have a good few potatoes that are under the soil, and maybe the big ones that are out of the soil and are green, I'm just going to have to save these for seed potatoes next year. Maybe I can then just cut them in half. Wish me luck. It is raining outside, and I will film as much as I can for you in the rain. Hopefully the camera doesn't break. Well, I thought I'd be able to get more of them harvested, but it's just started raining even more, so I'm going to just have to give up today. As usual, I've got mud on my face. That's just proof that I've been gardening. But at a quick glance, that is from 2 potatoes, and I'm so upset because there's some massive ones here. But as well as the ones that are green, there's some other issues that I've got with these potatoes anyway that I only realised when I started harvesting them. So I think I'm just going to have to call it a day today, and I'm completely soaking wet, so I'm going to have to get home, get into some dry clothes, and I will catch up with you probably tomorrow now. So I'll see you in a minute. So I was about to say what a difference 24 hours makes. The weather is so much nicer, but as I was about to say that, the clouds have come over and it's just started spitting. So I need to get this video finished before it absolutely, you know, hammers down like it did yesterday. If you're still watching, thanks so much for keeping along with the video, because when I was editing the first part of this video, the rain was so noisy. But yeah, I am so disappointed with this harvest. So far, I've got this one kind of mushroom tray of these potatoes, and it's just so sad. These are the biggest potatoes that I have ever grown before, and it's just like, they're green on one side, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe I can just cut that in half next year and use that as a seed potato. And you turn it around and there's just a massive hole, and there's still a slug in there. I've got this really big potato, and it's just, you know, it's just got some disease on it, and generally it's not been a very good harvest at all. Now, originally when I started this video, you know, the whole thing about this being a no-dig disaster was the fact that I didn't earth them up, and they needed to be earthed up so they got green. But also, they've been completely eaten by slugs and snails as well, and you know, I think that is partly my fault, and I've learned a lesson here. Earlier in the season, before I even put the potatoes in, I covered that entire area with loads of rotted compost from our communal compost bin at the allotment, and there were still loads of worms in there and stuff, and some of the bits and pieces that were in there were still kind of rotting down. And I think as a result of that, the you know, all of the worms and stuff, which were all like kind of the tiger worms, the composting worms rather than earthworms, they were all really busy in that soil, and as these potatoes have grown, they've just eaten the potatoes as well, which is really unfortunate. So I'm never going to grow my potatoes in kind of really fresh compost ever again, unless it's like from a packet or something like that. But you know, this is actually been so sad, and this is kind of one harvest from just 2 of the tubers, and I've got loads more tubers in there as well. So what I'm going to do though is I'm just going to go through these where they have been eaten by slugs and snails but they're not green. I can just chop all of that off, and then I can, you know, use it for mashed potato and stuff like that, but it's just so unfortunate. I am going to leave the video here though, so thanks so much for watching today. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified of all of my latest videos, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!